Okay, touch them together.
Red and the blue again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Yeah, that's that one then.
Yeah.
What's up guys, thanks for tuning into my latest video, the life of a jobbing plumber. This is part 2 of a 2-part video, so if you've not seen part 1 you might want to go back and find that for context of the job, or just watch this one. Hopefully you'll find something interesting in it. As always, video sponsored by Velocity Pro Gear Tool Bags and Tool Monster. Links to both of their sites are in the description of the video. I hope you enjoy it. Using one of my favourite bags. This is the, I think this is the tester bag from Velocity, but I butchered it a bit. So I took the lid off, cut that off there, and then you get this like platform there, which has got storage underneath. So I keep my bits and pieces, fuses, ferrules, Wagos, all that kind of stuff nicely in there. And then I've got this tray up, an old flute box for my hand tools, and then there's storage on the side as well. So I've got my hammer, hacksaw, there's a little wearer pouch there with my, look it out, with all my screwdrivers in, crimper on the side, tester, screwdrivers, oh, a cup of tea down there. Yeah, decent bag this. And that pops back in, just like that. So first part of this job is always just seeing what cables you got and tracing where the wires go. So this is going to be coming out. Some sort of junction box behind here. This will be redundant, and then we just got to work out what cable does what and make a bit of a plan really.
I've got some sort of JB there, look. It's going to be interesting.
That'll make it easy there, won't it?
Yes, I presume they're the, what we've got now. There's 4 wires coming down.
2 of them go into the boiler.
Yep. Either neutral and a switch, I presume.
Easy call if you've not got a set of these.
Huh?
Just go around your neck. You can point the torch wherever you want.
Yeah.
It lights up in front of you.
Yeah, dead comfy. I forget I've got them on. That's the main thing. Now I'm going and talking to people like that.
Blinding up. Okay, pretty straightforward. Okay mate, so if looking at our instructions, we've got all different options of how to wire this, all different scenarios, boilers, open vent system. So we're on an open vent or system boiler with domestic hot water cylinder, 2 2-port valves. So this is telling us how to wire it, which plugs to use. Domestic water cylinder with NTC, so that's an external NTC sensor that we're going to put into a pocket on there to sense the temperature. If you're not using that, then you wire your cylinder stat to this terminal here. So basically our 2 2-ports are going to go in there and there, main power in, 2 cable back to the boiler, and then the NTC sensor. And that's it, pretty straightforward. The bus cable will do the boiler and the programmer, room thermostat, everything from just that cable. It's really clever how it does it, but yeah, pretty straightforward to do. And then like I said, downstairs, one of the main jobs is just identifying what does what. So this one is our hot water zone valve. This one's our heating zone valve. Obviously this one goes to our cylinder stat there, and then just in this corner here are all the cables that come up from downstairs, so we just need to work out what's doing what. Okay, Obviously this is easier for me to say because I'm here and I know what I'm doing, but we've got this cable here with the blue, the red and the yellow. The yellow is just in a connector on its own, so that's not being used. The blue there goes in with the oranges to the zone valve, so that's the switch live down to the boiler, so we're going to reuse that. And the red there goes in with the greys, so that's the live into the permanent live into the valve, which obviously we're not going to be using anymore with the VR66. These are going to be completely disconnected, so I'm going to keep these two because I know they go all the way back down to the boiler, and that's what we're going to use for our bus cable. Now the next one along is, move them out of the way, this cable here, and you see we've got this red sleeving on this yellow. The only other cable that's got the red sleeving on is from the room stat, and that's redundant, so they're all going to be redundant as well. They just go to the room stat on the wall though, not to the boiler, which is where we need. So then the last cable, which is that one, so we've got the red here going all the way to, how does it go to this one here, which is going into our cylinder stat. And what else goes into that cylinder stat? Neutral. Okay, just trying to work this out in my head, because what we do need to our VR66 is a permanent live neutral and earth, so I've got to find out. I think it's going to be that one, but we'll see. Right, so they're the two I'm going to use. They're going to go down to the boiler, the bus cable. And then this one is our, from the room stat. This red here is the central heating on from the programmer, and then goes down with this yellow with the red sleeve to the room stat, and then back up from the room stat on this one. This is just a neutral. So then this last cable here, this one, we've got neutral blue. Obviously that's coming up from the for the central heating on, and then this red is hot water on. So what I'm going to do, because we don't need any of this, is we're going to use this cable here as our live neutral and earth, because that comes all the way from the programmer, this red here. Everything else is going to go. Everything looks a lot simpler when you strip it back. So 2 port for the hot water, cylinder stat, but that's going to be gone anyway. 2 port for the central heating, and then I'm just going to work out, I know that they're the cables I'm using as my bus, so I'm just going to 100% check. We're going to do the work we need to do downstairs to get our live neutral and earth up here, turn the power back on and just check which cable is getting the live on it. Okay, touch them together.
Red and the blue again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Yeah, that's that one then.
Yeah. You want to just do the blue and the yellow?
2 secs, I'll just write on the cable. So room stat.
That's the yellow and the blue touching.
Yellow and the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, off.
Off.
On.
On.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that cable then.
Okay, that's that sorted. So you're just going to disconnect that, yeah?
Huh?
You're going to disconnect that?
Yeah, it's gone anyway. I just snip it off in the wall once with.
Yeah. Obviously we've tested this properly, but I'm just going to show you with my voltage stick. This is the one we're going to be using as our live feed. None of the others have got any power on, but okay, so where we are now, I've got, it's a lot simpler, live neutral earth. These 2 of my bus cables going to go down, and then the 2 yellows that come with these cables, I've just terminated them in those blocks just in case we need them. Obviously this is now going to extend up to the VR66 when we get it on the wall. Okay, so just showing you what Marcus has done downstairs. That's our bus cable. So the 2 that I've used upstairs, then they go into that little junction box there, and then wide into the boiler on the bus terminal. and then obviously we've got the live, neutral and earth going up, and then the two yellows are the spares, so you just cut them. Slight change of plan, so I've took the wiring centre that was there off and I've put my VR66 in its place because we were going to mount it up here, but these weren't long enough and it would have meant joining these, and I think it's just a better job. So I've got panel live, neutral and earth in there, bus cable there, and then each valve has got a plug on it. So this is the central heating, which plugs into the red central heating plug there. We only need the live, neutral and earth. We don't need any of the switching wires. That's the grey's the permanent live and orange is the switch live. We don't need any of that. We just need the live feed there, so when the boiler programmer calls for central heating, this will become live and the valve will open, and that's all we need it to do. Okay, so I've just stripped out the cylinder stack cable because we're going to be using this VR10 sensor. So this I'm going to put in the pocket where the temperature sensor and then high limit stat were, so I'm just going to push that in there, and then this cable will come back and connect onto the NTC sensor there. If we weren't using this and we were going to carry on using the thermostat that's built into the cylinder, we would have wired it into that white plug there, which is the cylinder stat. Okay, that's that done. That's the receiver, so that's just going to go on to the top of that. So, and then the cover markers, apprentice.
Yes, boss.
Just gonna go here like this. Okay. On the side there, keep that as neat as possible. We're done. So now that's closed, that's closed. Do you want to go put the power on and then
Yep.
test it all? Power on yet? So just to show you on the boiler with the power on, before we put the VR66 on, because this is system boiler, we didn't have the hot water option. That wasn't lit up. Now it is, so we've got the hot water temperature and we can do our heating temperature. Now Mark, have you just asked for hot water?
No, not yet. Setting the date.
It's just come on now, so it's going to fire up for hot water, I think. Which means the valve upstairs should have opened. Let me check. Yeah, that's open now. So now that should give us,
If you want to, so you can go into, okay, so all the way back, so menu, installer level, system configuration, and it tells you all the information about what the boiler's doing. So at the minute it's charging for hot water, status just hot water, tells you the temperature of the hot water cylinder. And then just gives you there just your basic for your central heating.
cool.
So at the minute it'll recharge to do a Legionella when it to get up to 60 degrees, won't it?
So we'll get this stored on. So once that's up to temperature, then we'll ask for central heating. It should open that valve, but pretty confident that's going to work now. So we'll start clearing up.
Yeah, tell you.
Didn't have a look.
Good job, Mr. Electrician.
Didn't have a look properly at these because he was wearing them. Let's show people. So these are like rubberized, so you can bend them. So I guess you could just stick them somewhere and point them, like if you wanted to point it over there. But they're great for just popping around your neck, and then you can angle the torches in front of you. So whatever you're looking at, if you're working on that, it lights it up. Power buttons on. Well, charge it from that one. USB-C on the top. Look at the snow coming down. Right, take it away, Marcus.
So, because it's hot water priority, what it does is it opens the 2-port on the hot water, puts the boiler into maximum temperature rate. So it's flowing at 75 degrees, you can see the tap symbol. And what it wants to do is charge the cylinder as fast as it can to get it as hot as it can, up to temperature quick. Then what will happen, once it gets up to its set temperature, it'll divert back to central heating and put it back to central heating normal.
Clever stuff.
Yeah. So it should realistically charge that cylinder in about 15-20 minutes, running flat out.
Do you know what you can do in 15-20 minutes?
You could make me a cup of tea.
Okay, so 5 minutes later, we've reached temperature on the hot water, so that's just idling now. Where the old room stat was, we've mounted the RF. So if we put the heating on,
stick it up to 25, that should. Don't want to click that because then that'll set it in permanently. If you put that to 25, it just overrides it.
So we should now get a flashing radiator symbol when that spoke to the unit upstairs.
Take a minute.
There we go. That's now going around the heating circuit. So the 2-port upstairs, which we're just going to check, should be open now. Yeah, you can see that's open now. This one's shut. Okay, so before we wrap up on this job, let this dry out. What I'm going to do is get rid of some of this silicone here. Obviously we've got a gap there, so I guess the water's getting through somewhere there. Scrape this off, and then I've got some BT1. I'm going to reseal this, and then obviously they'll let us know if that's cured it. If it's not, possibility that they've not sealed behind this channel and the whole thing will have to come out, but we'll do this first because it's obviously the easier option, cheaper option than taking the whole screen down. So hopefully we'll clean this up, reseal it with the BT1, and then yeah, see what the score is. So I've basically scraped all that out on here as well. Now, if I was fitting a shower screen, I wouldn't seal on the inside, I'd just seal the outside. If you only seal the outside edge, any water that gets under there, it can't go out, it can only run back in. Whereas if you seal this side, any water gets in there, it gets trapped in between there and the outside, and then it can lift everything. So ordinarily I wouldn't seal that and just seal the outside, but because it was already sealed, and we don't know if it's sealed behind here on this back edge, I'm just going to reseal it, because what I need to know is that what we've done is fix the problem. If I don't fix that, then if I don't seal that, then it could be water could be getting in from there and behind, even worse, I don't know. So I'm just going to do it as it was. So I'm going to seal that all the way across to there, and then we'll see what the customer says in a couple of days if it's stopped the leak. So that's that sealed, and then I'm just popping this decorative cap back on just to cover that. And then what I might do is, with some clear, just seal this edge here, because it's got a bit of a gap there. Don't know if you can see that, but I've got the clear in that gap now. So sealed there, sealed around the bottom, got his stool back in. Might steal that idea actually, sitting down in the shower. Yeah, quite like that idea. Obviously, yeah, so we'll see how they get on after they've had a shower tomorrow, if that's cured the fault. Well, it was a good day, but as you can hear, he's not been able to fix the beeping. When it's stopped, I'll fill you in on how the job went and what I'm going to do about this fucking van. Okay, we just stopped beeping. So, yeah, job went really well. I always think when I've finished filming, because you get to a certain stage in the job and then you're just like trying to finish and get out of there and you forget to film bits. So I hope I covered everything. Obviously then talking to the customer, telling them how it all works, stuff like that. But yeah, I hope I've given you a good idea of that job. And basically using any boiler. It doesn't have to be a Valent, Baxi, Worcester, whatever. They're all boilers are designed to work best with their own controls. So that boiler now, that Valent boiler, will work so much better with its own brand of controls rather than third-party stuff. Like the rapid recharge on the hot water just gives you so much more control, which obviously makes them more efficient. So yeah, I enjoy those jobs. I especially enjoy the electrical side. I know there's a big grey area, should plumbers do electrics, but wiring, heating systems, control, stuff like that, I think it's fine as long as you're competent, and I feel like I am competent. So yeah, enjoyable job for me. Obviously the fact that my van didn't get fixed is a bit disappointing, but I mean, the guy was on it for like 4 hours. He had it in bits. What we did find out was when we took the dash, the clocks and the speedos out, there was some corrosion on the PCB of that. So we cleaned it off with some alcohol spray, put it back together. So he thinks it's just that. The other thing that doesn't work is the aircon unit. So the heater is stuck on full heat and coming out of the vents. I can't change it to say clear my windscreen or go on my feet, and I can't turn the temperature down, so it's red hot all the time. But he thinks that's linked. So what I'm going to do hopefully is get a new display. Apparently the info, like what van it is, your mileage, all that stuff comes from the ECU. So I can just unplug this dash and plug a new one in, I hope. So yeah, and hopefully that sorts it. But yeah, good day working with Marcus. And as I said at the start of the video, all I've got to worry about now is sending Marcus a bill for my time. Nice easy day. Got to do a bit of plumbing, got to do a bit of electrics, is what I enjoy. So I'm in a great mood. And now I'm going to go home, get some food. I'm going to go to the gym. It's leg day, so I'm going to do legs and abs. And then I am going to hopefully tonight go for a swim if I can get in at the pool. Because since COVID, you can't just turn up and buy a swim now. You have to book online, and there's only 20 spaces. So yeah, hopefully, because I didn't get a chance to swim this morning because I was obviously out the door by yeah, just before 7, and the swimming don't start till 7. So anyway, you don't know about that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one. Cheers, guys.